And then there's the markets. Well, a good recovery for the all-share after being muted for most of the day. It's about 0.5% up closing this afternoon. And that's thanks largely to some resources stocks. But let's get more insight on that. Martin Smith from eNCA Capital joins us. Martin, thanks very much indeed for talking to us. I mean, the JSE finishing off the week in the positive, but both local and global markets really lacked the momentum this week compared to previous weeks, didn't they? What's behind that?
Yeah, you're absolutely right in saying that it wasn't a terribly newsworthy week. And I think the seesaw between growth and value continues to play out. But essentially what we're looking at is it's still a slow melt upwards, both in the JSE and offshore. I mean, offshore's had a hiccup yesterday with proposed tax increases from Biden with regards to a wealth tax doubling. And South Africa obviously kind of followed suit. But as futures turned positive in the States, and our local counters, specifically around resources in the property sector, kind of turned positive. We saw our market end up slightly positive for the day. But like I keep saying, I think there's a lot of tailwinds. I think there's a lot of positivity. And I think it'll slowly continue to trickle out, even if there's no news.
You would be quite happy if you're linked in any way with Coronation. I see that trading statement out, and those profit expectations, Martin, they look quite impressive, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very, very solid set of numbers from Coronation. Headline earnings are up sort of in the region of 35 to 40%. AUM growth is also very impressive relative to the numbers out of December. But I mean, it's essentially a geared play on emerging markets, specifically the JSE. So it's no surprise they've come out with really good numbers. But ultimately, I think it's a good stock. It's looking relatively cheap from a valuation perspective, offers a very good yield. So I'm happy to hold on to it for my clients.
Another interesting update, if you like, from Standard Bank. In a week when banking shares in particular appear to be taking a back seat compared to what they did previously, what's your take on what Standard Bank said today?
Yeah, so they came out with the 3-month updates for the market, and I think it was pretty reasonable, up about 20%. But if you look at it comparatively to what they did at the half year, which was down 43%, still not terribly exciting. My preferred pick in the sector is still FirstRand, but I still think that Standard Bank offers a little bit of value at these levels and might be a good trading opportunity, given the fact that it needs to maybe play catch-up to the rest of the sector.
Yeah. Listen, I want to talk about Imperial Logistics here. I mean, two issues here. First, announcing that new BEE deal in a week where they also secured some space in this vaccination drive. Quite an interesting development there on both sides, Martin.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, that COVID deal is very positive for them. And the BEE deal is also very positive. I think in terms of the BEE deal, there was no real metrics given. And I think it's quite difficult in terms of assessing that from an investment perspective. Obviously, it is positive for them, given the fact that contracts are awarded when companies are committed to transformation and BEE scorecards, et cetera, et cetera. So ultimately, I think net positive for the companies. And it's still one I think that offers good value. I mean, it's very much geared to a recovery in South Africa. But management have done well in a very, very tough space, secured some big contracts. And like I said, it looks like there's some good prospects for the company.
Yeah, just before I let you go, I mean, it's interesting to see that the private companies now are in this domain, as government puts it, in this vaccination drive here. We're beginning to see things open up on that.
Yeah, I think the sooner the better. I'm happy for whoever it is to get involved. I think South Africa and everywhere in the world, I think people just need this vaccine to get out as quickly as possible. Obviously, we saw the J&J pause from last week now being lifted, so that's positive, and we can continue with our vaccination program.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to leave it there. Martin Smith is with eNCA Capital.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much indeed for talking to us.